I recently made a video called, "Is Spain Better Than the USA in Every Way?" Spain is the Texas of Europe. And what I imply by that is, if you're an American, you understand the concept that people from Texas, it's like they think that they live in their own country apart from the United States. That's fine, that's cool, but they're just so independent minded, and their landmass is just so large compared to most other states. It's like they live in a world where, in their minds, it's its own country. And there's been talk about them actually seceding from the United States and becoming their own country. And so be it if they do. It probably wouldn't change a whole lot, especially in the way they look at it. Texas is awesome. I've been there. It's great. But they have a different mindset. And when I say that Spain is the Texas of Europe, that's what I'm implying. I'm saying that it feels like, on my end, people in Spain, it's almost like they're not even part of Europe. They're just so their own independent thing, and they're so proud of where they're from that it's almost like they just supersede Europe in some ways. Of course, I'm basing that off of comments on this channel, but I've made videos to plenty of other nations. No one responds with such passion in defense of their own nation as Spain has. And so I want to read this. This has produced many comments when I made the video, "Is Spain better than the USA in every way?" But this comment, I think, really helps me understand things in a new way, and I appreciate it. So Fab French, who has been watching my videos for a while, comments on most of them, has lots of intelligent insight. I want to read the last paragraph of his comment. Quote, "The United States is great for its business opportunities, and it is the country for leading a career, making money, or dreaming his life of being a millionaire. Give to people the possibility and goal of consumption, having a big car, beautiful house, and a nice neighborhood. This is what the United States and the American dream is all about. I do not think that this necessarily makes the United States so great as many Americans like to repeat to themselves. Spain will not be great for someone who is centered mainly on career. Even if Spain enjoys a high standard of life at a worldly scale, with good care, the unemployment is high. Salaries are lower than in the United States. All depends what one expects of life." End quote. I think that's perfectly said. And I think too, it's hopefully what you can see, because I am as sincere as I can possibly be in these videos. When I ask a question, if it sounds completely ignorant, it probably is, but it's sincere when I'm asking these questions about the rest of the world. And I can understand and appreciate the fact that, something I think that sets me apart compared to a lot of Americans you will see on TV or even on YouTube. I think America is awesome, and I'm very proud to be an American, but I don't have this mindset that we're better than in another country. I don't believe that. I'm patriotic, but not to the point where I'm like, Americans are better than people in Spain and definitely France. No, I don't believe that at all. We're all human beings. Let's find out what we have in common. Let's hang out and have a good time. That's my philosophy on it all. But I can understand and appreciate an outsider saying about Americans that we have this concept of the American dream. And if you want the possibility of making a whole lot more money than you could in most of the world, Spain included, then in that way, we would in theory be better than Spain. But because I'm an intelligent person, I recognize that obviously money does not equal a higher quality of life. I can accept that. And if you allow me to be as honest and vulnerable as I want to be in this moment, a couple of days ago I made a video talking about how at age 37, which I'm literally half the age of the average lifespan of a man who lives in Tennessee. So I'm half of my life is over now. If I live to be the lifespan of the average man where I live in Tennessee. So this is my midlife crisis, and I'm sorting out the fact. Have you heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs? It's that pyramid that shows you that there's third world countries out there. People barely have enough water or food or shelter to survive. Then there's other places where people have those things, but they're looking for love and acceptance and this sense of security. And you keep going up the pyramid till finally, honestly, you're like me, where I have all of my needs are being met basically on every level. No, I'm not a millionaire, but I've never made this much money in my life as I do right now. No, granted, my wife and I both work full-time jobs. I work 2 or 3 part-time jobs. So I'm spending so much time making money, living I guess you could say a comfortable life. Yes, I live in a nice house, in a nice neighborhood, away from crime. My kids have access to a great school. In that sense, I'm living the American dream, but I think the exception to me is I'm a little bit more in tune with the cost of that. And when I say cost, I mean the fact that I feel there's not enough quality time even with my own family. There's not enough sense of rest here because you're always working. So I can understand that and I can accept that. Something that may set me apart in that though too is my wife and I are debt free other than our mortgage. So we both have cars that are completely paid off. They're not new. I'll tell you what I drive. I drive a 2004 Honda Element. It's got like 170,000 miles on it, I think. It's worn out, it's faded, but it's dependable. Honda, it's a great car company. So I've had that car for 12 years now, and it's dependable. It's paid off. My wife's car, we paid cash for it. And that's not what Americans typically do. Americans typically finance everything so that they can afford it, which I understand is completely a paradox. It's ironic. If you can't afford it, that's why you finance it. So then what, you pay interest? You pay more money for something you can't afford in the first place? Our mortgage being an exception to that, because already since moving into this neighborhood 3.5 years ago, the value of the homes in this neighborhood have increased like $80,000. So that's sort of a different ballgame altogether. But it's a matter of me understanding when it comes to the American dream, in theory, to an outsider, I'm living the American dream. And I'm at the top of that hierarchy of needs pyramid. But it doesn't mean that I'm necessarily living a life of more peace than people in other parts of the world. We could say Spain, but I could even say a lovely place that I've been to, like Trinidad and Tobago. Some of the friendliest, nicest people I ever met. A beautiful country. Trinidad and Tobago. There's a shout out. I love that place. I traveled back in February of 2002 is when I was there. Love that place. And I wasn't on vacation. I was actually on mission through the church, actually helping build a playground in a poor neighborhood. And then I also helped with the church as far as showing different ways that they can, like helping them teach better at the church, like teaching methods, because I actually have a teaching background, okay? So I have an English degree, and that comes with, by default, you teaching a lot when you're in college. So I think of a place like that, and I saw people who didn't have as much as people have in the United States, and that might be an understatement. But so many of the people I met were happy and at peace. Though they might have been much lower on that pyramid as far as having further to go up there, but it doesn't mean that I'm happier than they are. And I think I can accept that. I can discern the American dream and that idea that people repeat to themselves, like Fab French said. I understand that the American dream to some point, to some degree, is actually an illusion. I can accept that. Because here I am at the top of the pyramid, my midlife crisis at age 37. Here I am. I, in theory, should be happier than any other people because I'm so high up the pyramid. But I'm not. I mean, it's not that I'm depressed or anything. I tell you what I am. I'm tired. I work most of my waking hours. I'm working. I don't really do a lot of relaxing. Even when I go on vacation, what am I doing? I'm taking pictures of the whole thing so that when I get back home, I can write a blog about it, which again, this is the video extension of an actual website, familyfriendlydaddyblog.com, familyfriendlydaddyblog.com. You go there and you'll see all about my life. So even then, and that helps me make money as well. I have several different ways I make money from having that website. So I'm exhausted all the time. I'm worn out, I'm working. Money's not an issue, but I'm in that cycle. I'm in that hamster wheel. So to me, that's the American dream. And for a lot of people, it might sound like a nightmare. In theory, there's a lot of people all across the world who are a lot happier. Of course, happy is a relative term. I accept that. I get that. But I think that hopefully what you've seen in this 11-minute video is that I am being completely real and vulnerable with you. I'm telling you what's actually going on in my mind, and I'm accepting as an American that the American dream it's not what it's cracked up to be, and it doesn't mean that you're a happier person. You can have a lot less in life, be lower on the Maslow hierarchy of needs pyramid, and actually be happier and well rested and at peace. So I think that, knowing that, helps me to be, even though I'm a proud American, I can accept that there's a lot of other places in the world where you could live this dream. It's not the American dream, but you're still living a dream. And it doesn't sound that bad to me. What are your thoughts on that right here?